Hello, here we are. We are coming live with special guest Kendra Cunov. Feel free to dance along. Woo! We're dancing now! High five. We needed that.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the Pleasure Tour. Hi everybody, if you're there, yeah, send us some hearts and likes and happy faces. We love that. I'm so out of breath, I can't even talk. So, wow, I have some major insights to be sharing with you on the Pleasure Tour. And I couldn't be with a more perfect person to do that with than dear Kendra Cunov, friend and colleague. She has so much wisdom to offer you, and we're going to get there. Okay, I have a confession to make, first of all. I am a week into my Pleasure Tour, and I haven't actually been feeling that much pleasure. I'll be totally honest with you. And like if I had to grade myself on my own Pleasure Tour, I would give myself like a C, maybe a C minus. And the whole point of this tour is for me to really embody my message. And so I'm looking at like, where am I not embodying my message? And hi, Christina. I'm so glad you're here. Christina Marassi was a big turning point for me. Like, I don't feel like I actually started my Pleasure Tour until I decided to not film a Facebook Live and to jump naked in her pool instead. That was when it began. Yeah, so I think the challenge for everybody, and women especially, who are holding large spaces and who are maybe managing a lot of stress in their lives, whether it's through their career or through children and relationships, is how to access that place of sacred pleasure in the midst of everything else happening in our lives. You know, how do we find that golden thread of soul delight in a shitstorm, basically? And what I'm coming to, what I'm arriving at, is a kind of library of what are the supports and resources I need in order just to pause for a moment and actually turn my attention toward my body and what feels right for me in that moment. And I'm realizing I need nature.
Yeah, me too, big time.
I need nature. So if that's true for you, I would love for you to give that a thumbs up, because I think we all need it to a degree, and we have forgotten how much we need it. So with that, I feel like I'm in a renewed space of commitment to this practice, and I'm going to keep sharing with you. See, look at all of the agreement we have. I'm going to keep sharing with you like what it is that prevents me from embodying pleasure and what actually enables me, both the inner attitude and then the outer circumstance. And by the end of our broadcast, I do hope you stay with us, I'm going to have a super special surprise to tell you about. I've been like sitting on it and holding it in for a long time, and Kendra is just the right, she's the right spirit and the right person to share with in this experience. So stay tuned. So Kendra, her hair! Don't you love her hair? It like makes me so happy every time I look at her. I can't be not happy. if you don't know Kendra, I'm delighted to introduce you to her. Hi, Rob. Robert Kendall is there. Kendra is just an extraordinary woman with a wealth of wisdom. And how do I introduce you? Like, for people who don't know you, what would be a contribution you've made to the world that you would like to brag about?
Let's see. So I would say I've spent about the last 15 years really kind of studying and working and cultivating and offering practices that are all in the realm of relating, some form of relating. I co-founded Authentic World with my ex-husband and a group of people. And then over that 15 years and through my own journey of becoming a mom and separating from my ex-husband and finding new love, and I've really looked at like, what is it that I want to offer? And it's still, there are these pieces that are in the realm of authentic relating, and then there are pieces that are more in the realm of romantic and intimate relationship, and definitely feel like a lot of resonance and love for also this piece around supporting women and what is our pleasure and how really, like, how do we live as women in the world such as it is today? Like in all its beauty and all its chaos and, you know, and also struggle. Like, how do we really live as full women?
I'm here to address the very same question. You know, and this is great because I mean we're both living it. Kendra has 2 beautiful children. She's running huge spaces, holding big spaces for people to practice and grow relationally. And how do you do it? How do you stay committed to your experience of pleasure?
Well, so I think I'd like to share the story that I shared with you.
Totally.
Partly it involves my children, and they're such a big part of my life, and really they do call me forward into being the woman I want to be. And so also speaking about nature, so I was sitting in the place where I have a garden plot, and it's in the midst of this also just gorgeous, gorgeous garden. And it's in an area that also has like redwood trees and cedar trees, and it's just incredible. But I had gotten really mad about something earlier that happened, and I was just like, I was so mad. I was so mad about it, and I couldn't let it go. And I was feeling also a little bit irritated because my kids wanted my attention, and they were acting in ways I didn't want them to be acting. And I was a little more tired than I wanted to be. And I sat down on this bench and I looked out at where my garden is growing. And the first piece was this piece. I sat and I just thought to myself, I was like, okay, what else can I feel? And it wasn't like just I should stop feeling mad or I should find something that's not really there, but like with all of that going on, what else can I notice or feel? And my attention got drawn. Partly I have this enormous kale plant, and it was just like really doing its big leafy kale thing. I was like, oh, that's amazing. And then there's this beautiful calendula that's flowering. And then my daughter, who's 4.5, she comes next to me and she literally starts kissing me from the top of my head all the way down my body, like down the side of my legs and to my toes. And she's kissing my toes, which are like dirty from working in the garden. And then she starts again, and she starts kissing me from the top of my head. And I had this impulse to push her away, like I need some space. And then I paused, and my son, who's 8, got on the other side, and he started mirroring her. So I have my children just literally kissing me from head to toe.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
And I had to, you know, we talked about this, but it was like a conscious decision to relax and let that in, rather than, who knows, you know, we all have our different reasons why, and we have the different ways that we do it, but like to kind of contract and push it away. was to relax and just I closed my eyes and I just let them, and I started weeping. I just started weeping. And they were kind of giggling. I think the whole thing was a little bit silly, but also, and I just let them give me love. And so that's one example, you know, but so many of those examples really are around wherever I am and whatever I'm feeling, whatever I need to do, can I also relax and let what else is happening in.
So beautiful. I know that in the last week, Kendra, just to kind of reinforce what you're saying, and Deb Rubin is saying, I love this, thank you. Hi, Deb. Good to see you here. So many friends have tuned in. It's great to feel you. I know for this last week that I've been on the pleasure tour, I've tried to like weave pleasurable activities and self-care activities through the week. Like the other day, I got an emergency massage. It was like stop, drop, and massage, right? It's like, that's my go-to. And it didn't really feel good because I was so tense and stressed and my mind was so preoccupied that I couldn't actually give it the quality of attention that is necessary in order to actually feel pleasure. And that's why I give myself like a C or C minus so far on the tour. And it's not to like knock myself down, but just to really say, pleasure is a verb. You know, it's not like it strikes us like lightning out of the sky and we're lucky and we get to feel pleasure. We have to actually turn our attention toward it and invoke it and invite it and receive it.
Well, and what I love about that is while it's really important to do those things and actually make time, like set aside the time and the space to do things like, you know, have a bath or a massage or eat in a slow and pleasurable way, that it's also a reminder that it's available no matter what. And you might not get to have a massage right in that moment, or you might be like I was in a more, you know, I was in an angry and tender place, and that pleasure is also there. And that it's not even about turning away from that or having to leave your life to go do the pleasurable things, but actually allowing the pleasure that's always there to come in and nourish you. Like let it actually nourish you.
Thank you, Kendra. And it makes me think of even right now as you're watching this, to know there's nothing you need to do to feel more pleasure right now other than to give it your attention. Even the pleasure of the breath that you're drawing in next, the pleasure of the breath that you're releasing next, the pleasure of your bottom on Kendra's fireplace. That's my
Eva's like arm, you know, feels a little warmer than mine.
So thank you so much for that reminder, and I'm taking that also that it's always available. And yeah, it's an attitude. It's a perception. Quick story, the other day I was driving in my car and I was in the middle of San Francisco, very busy, and I was super stressed and it was hot and it was just like, and it was traffic and I was lost and I was late for an appointment, and I just realized, wait a minute, I need to shift. I need to pivot this experience right now because this traffic ain't going nowhere. And all I have control of right now is my experience of this moment. And so I rolled the top down on my convertible, I turned on my favorite song, and I breathed, and I moved into pleasure. So one very pleasurable thing that I get to do now is announce to you what I've been working on, and something that has brought me so much joy to create for you, and that is my next program. It's called The Path to Pleasure. And you can find more information at thepathtopleasure.com. This is a 7-week live in-person program for women about increasing pleasure. And I call it the art and science of feminine sexual awakening. It's super yummy. And I did this program 6 months ago, and it more than sold out, and I had to actually turn women away. So I just want to give you this little prompt that enrollment is now open and the early bird price is in effect. So if you have been following the Pleasure Tour and you're watching today, I would love for you to get to take advantage of this offering. This program is in Los Angeles, so if you live in LA or you'd like to fly to LA for 6 or 7 weeks and join us, I absolutely welcome that. But please check out thepathtopleasure.com, thepathtopleasure.com. And in particular, I would love to hear what you think of the add-on module that I've just added, which is actually pretty edgy and pretty scary for me to offer in a way because it is quite racy. So I'd love for you to check that out and let me know what you think.
And I just want to say, if you don't live in the Los Angeles area, but you know a woman who does, who could really benefit from this, this is exactly what we talked about today. You'll get to be supported by a group of women, and you know, Eva really has so much both in the art and the science of it. And it really is about finding pleasure no matter what. So you don't have to have the right man or the right house or the right moment or the right massage or the right, it's about finding how we can find it no matter what.
God, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, that feels so good to hear. So I'd love to hear, what pleasures are you aware of right now in this moment? What are you feeling? What are you aware of? What are you willing to be aware of right now? And enter it in the comments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please, you can find more information on Kendra at kendracunov.com. And I have her website in the post, so you can easily click on that and find out what she's up to. And we're going to dance it out, okay? Woo! Woo!
Chest to chest, tongue on neck. International oral sex. Every picture I take, I'm posting it. Phone and jet, what you expect? So good about her.
This is what feels good to me right now.
Gotta say to my phone on a big road. Anyway, every day I'm trying to get to it. Gotta say to my phone on a big road.
Yeah, dance it out with us, ladies and gentlemen.